Alright, let us look at another question in the chapter of arithmetic progressions. This has to deal with the sum of n terms. Before we begin, let us summarize the relevant equations related to the sum of n terms. S sub n is equal to n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d, and Sn is equal to n by 2, a plus a sub n. Now, when we know the nth term, this is the relevant equation that we need to follow. And if there is no information about the nth term, we can find the sum of n terms using this expression. Okay, let's take stock of what this question is all about. The sum of the first 10 terms of an AP is minus 150, and the sum of its next 10 terms is minus 550. Find the arithmetic progression. So let us just say that the first term is a plus d, a plus 2d, so on. And here is where you'll find the 10th term and then the 11th term and so on until you arrive at the 20th term. So probably beyond this also the arithmetic progression is there, but we are really not interested in that. Now what is given here is the sum of these first 10 terms is given as S1 to 10, and that is negative 150, and the sum of the next 10 terms, let's say S11 to 20, that is negative 550. Now with these two we will be able to form two equations, and using those two equations we would be able to arrive at a value of a and d, and then therefore build the arithmetic progression. So let's look at the first expression. S1 to 10 is equal to minus 150. Now if you observe in this equation, Sn is equal to n by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. N stands for the number of terms for which the sum is being calculated. So whether you're talking about S1 to 10 or S11 to 20, in both cases n is equal to 10. So n is 10 here, n is 10 here also. And since we are taking the first term as a, even the first term for this and this series is going to be a in general, and the common difference is going to be d. So this expression becomes S1 to 10 becomes 10 over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1, that is 9d, and all of this is equal to minus 150. I cancel this 5 times and this goes minus 30 times. So the equation that I get is 2a plus 9d equals negative 30. Let's call that equation 1. Now if you focus on this second sum of terms, we notice again n is 10. So S11 to 20 is equal to 10 over 2. Now when we are writing 2a, please notice that a here does not stand for the first term. In fact, it stands for the 11th term. Of course, a means the first term of the series for which the sum is being calculated. So since this sum pertains to the sum of terms from a11 to a20, when we are writing a here, we will refer to a11. So basically I will write here twice a11 plus n minus 1 will again be 9d. All of this would be equal to minus 550. So I'll cancel this 5 times. This goes minus 110. And what I would do with 2 into a11 would be 2 into a plus 10d plus 9d is equal to minus 110. So this would become 2a plus 20d plus 9d is 2a plus 29d is equal to negative 110. Let's call this equation number 2. Since both equations have 2a, let us directly solve them simultaneously. 2a plus 9d is equal to minus 30. 2a plus 29d is equal to minus 110. Let's subtract all terms. These two get cancelled, and here we get minus 20d is equal to plus 80, which implies d is equal to minus 4. Now we can substitute d is equal to minus 4 in any of these equations. So I'm going to put d is equal to minus 4 in equation number 1. 2a plus 9 into minus 4 is equal to minus 30, which implies 2a is equal to 36 minus 30 is 6, which implies a is equal to 3. Now notice the first term that we are mentioning of here is literally the first term. It doesn't mean this one. If you want to find this one, you would have to write a plus 10d and get that. So let's look at what the question is asking us. Question is asking us to build the AP. So the required AP is, the first term is 3, common difference is minus 4. 3 minus 4 is negative 1, minus 4 is negative 5, minus 4 is negative 9, so on and so forth. And that is the final answer. Let us now move on to another question. This is a word problem. Let's read it. In a potato race, a bucket is placed at the starting point, which is 5 meters from the first potato, and the other potatoes are placed 3 meters apart in a straight line. There are 10 potatoes in a line. So let's try to represent this. Let's say this is the entire path on which, let's say this is where they have the bucket, and the first potato is 5 meters away from the bucket, and thereafter every potato is placed at 3 meters, and there are 10 potatoes. So there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, let's extend this line, 8 9 and 10, and each of these are 3 meters apart. So what are they asking us to do? The competitor starts from the bucket, picks up the nearest potato, runs back with it, drops it in the bucket, runs back to pick up the next potato, runs to the bucket to drop it in. And he continues in the same way until all the potatoes are in the bucket. What is the total distance the competitor has to run? Alright, so let's say the competitor is here, and the competitor wants to go pick up a potato, come right back. So the first run would involve a total of 10 meters, 5 up and 5 down. So the first term of the series would be 10, and then the next distance would be from here, that is 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 up and 8 down, which means the second term would be 16. Then the third term would involve a total distance of, let's see, starts from here, 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 3 11, and then 11 back, that is 22 meters. So you can see that the difference here is 6. So obviously the next one would be 28, so on and so forth. So we've built an AP whose first term is 10 and the common difference is 6. So we know there are 10 potatoes. This is the 10th potato, which means n is equal to 10. So we have to sum up all the distances to pick up the 10 potatoes. So this would be 10 by 2, 2a, that is 2 times 10, plus n minus 1 would be 9 times 6. So this cancels out 5 times, and this is 20 plus 54, that is 74 times S10, 74 times 5, that gives us 370 meters, which means the total distance is equal to 370 meters, and that is the final answer.